Hello, it's Tails here. I'm here to show you a way to prevent the yaw drift issue on the HOTAS 4. Just to note that this is only for if your joystick is working properly. So it's either a new joystick or it hasn't started going dodgy yet. If yours is already drifting, you might need to replace one of the components, which I'll probably make another video about in the future. But this is just to kind of show preventative step. This fix is tried and tested as well. I made the change about 6 months ago and it's worked fine ever since, pretty, relatively heavy use to be honest, so it shows that it works, which is good. This is showing actually the original fix, and this is all it is a bit of sellotape wrapped around that white rod in there. That is what has fixed the issue and made it more robust for basically permanently, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So here's my little potentiometer graveyard. These are all my broken potentiometers, like the original ones which I've took out, replaced. The problem came back after a little while, so I was thinking there's obviously not something wrong with the new potentiometers. The reason I worked out the issue is you can see that this is wobbling here. So I was thinking what's causing that to wobble on the old one, where the new one is, you'll see here, the new one is pretty solid, it doesn't wobble. And here is the problem which causes these things to break. So what it is that black collar you can see where the housing wraps around the rod is slightly loose. So there's a slight gap, it's not a properly tight fit. So when you're pitching up and down or when you're rolling left and right, it's putting all the force, instead of it being quite clamped tightly on that collar, it's slightly rocking. So whenever you're moving back and forth, it's putting all that force through the potentiometer, which is damaging it. And eventually it just stops working, which is kind of understandable really, because it's not designed to be used in that way, it's only designed to twist. So the next clip will show the fix, the original fix, which has lasted for 6 months with the same potentiometer in. All I'm going to do is, so you can see there, the tape, it kind of fills the gap up between the collar and the rod, making it solid so it doesn't wobble. I'm going to show taking the old tape off, and I'm going to put some new ones on for the video, just to show that it's quite easy to do. Basically what I've got here is just a kind of 10mm wide sellotape, just found it in the house really. So you can see that's where I want the tape to be, that's where the collar is, where I'm going to put a mark here, and then the top of the tape I'll kind of line up with the bottom of that little window. So it's a bit of a faff on, you kind of need to work out by eye how much tape to put on. You can see I put a few layers on here and wrap it around a good few times. It's easier to pull out a length of tape, cut it, and then wrap it around, instead of wrapping the, because those cables are in the way. Yeah, just wrap it nice and neatly. You can see I do about 5, 6, 7, 8 layers there. It just makes that gap much narrower between the plastic housing and the rod, and it'll just stop all the movement. So there you go, nice and neat. It's made the shaft kind of wider, so that collar is going to get a nice tight fit on there now. So now it's time to just start putting it back together. You can see I've knocked the little clip there, so I'll just pop that back on. It's quite easy to do, so that's how it's supposed to go. So what I kind of was going to add in is to stop it from being, to make the twist on the joystick work smoothly, which I didn't do the first time. I'm going to put some sort of cycle grease in there. So I've had this stuff for years, but it's just really good thick cycle grease. It's not going to run or move, basically it'll just stay where you put it. So stick that on a bit of cotton bud and put it on there, just on where it's going to contact. Lovely. Bit of a mess but it does the job. So you'll see there, look, nice and easy to move there. Gets rid of all the friction. So yeah, when you're putting it back together, just be careful you don't trap any of the cables in between the little, you can see there. in between the little screw bosses and stuff, and inside as well at the top for the top buttons. Just watch you don't catch those cables in between when you're closing the two halves up. It's not too deep, you know, it's a bit of a faff, but just be careful and you'll be alright. Yep, then it should just click back together. Also, you need to put the little kind of back plate in there as well. Just kind of wobble it in. It's quite hard to explain how to do it, but you'll understand. It's a bit of a pain in the arse. There you go. Got it eventually. Clips in nicely. Just kind of all nicely goes back together, which is grand. And basically that's the job done. So then you can just put your screws back in at the end. So thanks for watching. My first ever video, so a bit awkward sounding probably, but yeah, I just thought I'd try and help my other fellow commanders out sorting out this annoying problem, and hopefully Thrustmaster will watch this video. Well, they'll probably be bored to death, but you know, if they do, they might end up working out a fix for this so it doesn't happen in the future, and it'll improve the product. So yeah, cheers guys.